Now that I'm reading Sri Aurobindo's wonderful poem, Savitri, I think it's a good idea to tell the whole story very briefly. This way people can follow what is going on in the book because they will know what part of the book it's in. And also, people can read any canto or any book, and they'll have a context. They can actually place the story, and then they can read what Sri Aurobindo has to say. The mother told the ashramites not to try to explain what Sri Aurobindo wrote. She said that they were not developed enough to understand Savitri fully. She told them that the best thing to do, if they wanted to explain Savitri, was to use other things that Sri Aurobindo wrote on the same subject that they were reading in Savitri itself. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what Sri Aurobindo said about his writing of Savitri. When I tell you anything about the book, I'll quote from something that Sri Aurobindo wrote, and I'll also tell you what the source is. And with the story itself, I'm going to tell a story using quotations from Savitri as much as possible, just adding a sentence here and there to keep the line of the story going or to make some kind of transition. In order to keep the flow going, I won't say it's a quote, but I think you'll be able to know when it's I who am adding a sentence or two. The mother told people that they should read even if they felt they could not understand. In her classes to the ashram school students, she told them that each time they read the same thing, they would understand it better. And this is the experience that I have when I read Mother and Sri Aurobindo, and the experience that all my friends have also. Mother also told the students that when someone wrote a book, their essence went into the book and remained there. And if we read the book, we can come into contact with the presence of the writer. Sri Aurobindo started writing Savitri in August of 1916. The very first manuscript dated is on the second page, 8-9 August 1916. This is when he started. He continued to work on it over the years until he left in 1950, although there were long spaces of time when he did not work on it. In one letter, Sri Aurobindo wrote about how he was writing Savitri. I may describe it as an infinite capacity for waiting and listening for the true inspiration and rejecting all that fell short of it, however good it might seem from a lower standard, until I got that which I felt to be absolutely right. In 1933, someone asked him how he wrote Savitri, and he said, "There is no invariable how, except that I receive from above my head and receive changes and corrections from above without any initiation by myself or labor of the brain." In 1936, he said, "In fact, Savitri has not been regarded by me as a poem to be written and finished, but as a field of experimentation to see how far poetry could be written from one's own consciousness and how that could be made creative." Sri Aurobindo kept rewriting and revising Savitri as his own yoga practice progressed, and he wrote about things which he himself realized along the way. In 1936, he wrote to someone, "I used Savitri as a means of ascension. I began with it on a certain mental level. Each time I could reach a higher level, I rewrote it from that level." In 1937, he wrote that he'd reached the end of the life worlds in Savitri and said that until he got mind in order and realized, or rather embodied, the psychic, he couldn't show any more of his work. In 1947, he said, "I have